Make, what is this, 10.2 day 1 notes. We're talking about ellipses, okay? All right. Okay, a little bit of a glare. That's unfortunate. Let's see if I move this. Oh, gosh. Does that bother you if I keep this here? Okay. I assume that's sarcasm. That's what I'm going to go with. Okay. All right, so let's start by getting this in standard form. The only difference with an ellipse, okay, standard form for an ellipse, it's similar to circles, standard form, it's similar to circles, except we always want 1 on the right when we're done. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So it's similar, except we always want the number 1 on the right. All right. I'll show you what I mean by that. Let me know when you guys are done writing. To learn about ellipses. All right, here we go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start this kind of as if I were doing a circle problem. We're just going to see something different happen. Okay. So let's write this down. Let's group together my x's. You guys are going to get really good at completing the square. You guys are going to spend your whole summer completing squares. You're going to wake up, you'll see a square. Parents will be really proud of you. So plus 36 equals 0. Okay? So you do a lot of the problem exactly as if you were trying to put this equation in the standard form for a circle. Okay? So let's factor a 4 out. Okay? So this is 4 times x squared plus 6x. Okay, this is, what do I put here? 6 divided by 2 squared, what's that? That's 9, right? So we're going to put a plus 9 here. Okay, I need to put what here then? Minus 36, all right? This one we already have a 1 here, so I just divide the 4 by 2 and square it, and do plus 4 minus 4, okay? So these 3 terms, they factor to what? This is a good complete square review. Let's factor to what? What's the little formula I can use? X plus 3 squared, good job. Add over the 36. Okay. These factor to what? Y plus 2 squared. Okay, and then add over the 4. Subtract 36 over. Okay. All that is what? 4? So I get this, okay? Now, we have finally come across the scenario that Sophia mentioned on Friday, okay? Right, the 2 numbers, right, normally if we were trying to do a circle, if we were trying to do a circle equation, these 2 numbers would be the same. We divide by whatever that number was. We divide both sides by whatever the coefficients are here, right? The only different step here is for ellipses. Instead, we divide by whatever I need to divide by to get 1 over here. So we divide by the number on the right. That's the only difference. The last step, I'm going to divide by this number on the right. So divide both sides by 4. So I get x plus 3 squared, quantity squared, over 1 plus y plus 2 squared over 4 equals 1. Okay, did you guys see the only difference in that last step? So maybe, yeah. So complete this, so only the last step is different. Okay. So for this one, this equation becomes, what do I have? Let me refocus it on the TV. X plus 3 squared over 1 plus y plus 2 squared over 4 equals 1. Okay? So that's standard form. This is standard form of an ellipse. Okay. What do you think my center is? My center is just like for a circle. Center, just like for a circle. Yep, so my center here is going to be -3, comma -2. Okay? Let's plot that, -3, -2. It's my center. Okay? The only distance with a circle, right? With a circle, I would just find whatever the radius is, and I would do like, let's say I found like the radius was 3, I'd do a point 3 below, 3 to the left, 3 to the right, and 3 above, right, to graph. With ellipses, it's different, right? Ellipses, they kind of look like an oval. It looks like an oval, okay? So what I do is, I'll do this in pink. I take this 4 right here. The square root of 4, that number underneath my y is what? So the square root of that is what? 2. So the way I graph this is I go 1, 2 points above my center, and 1, 2 points below my center. Okay? All right, and then what's the square root of my number that's right below x? What's the square root of 1? 1, right? So I go 1 to the left of my center and 1 to the right of my center. I do those. I connect those points. That make sense? Okay. So there's basically like different radii in different directions almost. Okay. All right. Let's do some fancy schmancy terminology. Let's get fancy. Okay, $16,000, right? Don't want to waste your parents' money, okay? So I'm going to connect these 2 pink points here, and I'm going to connect the 2 green points. Okay? So these are what are called the 2 axes of my ellipse. The 2 lines that like divide it into fourths, okay? The longer axis is called the major axis. That's called the major axis. The shorter axis is called the minor axis. Okay, the shorter axis is called the minor axis. Okay. All right. I'm going to shrink this guy down here. Okay. The endpoints of the major axis those are called the vertices. The endpoints of the minor axis are called covertices. Okay. So we have the center here, right? We got the center, part of our answer. We got the center, so that's right. The direction said identify the center. So here's our center. There's part of our answer. Let's write down the vertices. What are the vertices of this ellipse? Are the vertices going to be my pink points or my green points? Pink, right? What is that? -3, 0. And this one is -3, -4. Okay. What are my co-vertices going to be? So this is what? These are my co-vertices, -4, -2. And -2, -2. We're done with this problem. Okay, you guys feel okay about this? So it's similar to circles, right? They're just different, like, I don't want to call them radii, it's not technically the right word. But the distance from the center to the shape just varies, okay? Right? Earth's orbit around the sun is not a circle, it's an ellipse. So, yeah. So that's our answer then. Answer is the vertices, my coverts, and my center. Okay? Questions, comments, concerns? You okay? All right, yeah. So the first page is just, all the second pages, we just got to complete the square to get it in standard form. So let's do this second one, okay? So I'm going to try to get that in the standard form of an ellipse. Okay, I'm trying to take some good film. Trying to erase the board. Mrs. Ford is like, if you watch her videos, she's like the fastest board eraser ever. It's crazy, okay? So I'm going to write this equation down. I'm going to group my x's together. Minus 144x. Yeah, get your calculators out. That helps. Plus y squared. There's no y here, so that's fine. Plus 108. 0. Okay. Terry. Okay. So I'm going to complete the square here, right? So I want the number next to x squared to be a 1, so I'm going to pull out an x squared, or 36, sorry. Pull out a 36, 144 divided by 36 is 4. So I get x squared minus 4x. Okay. What am I going to put there? Yeah, 4, so plus 4, and then I put a minus what outside? 144. Okay. Good. How do I complete the square for just y squared? Yeah, it's already done for you. So plus y minus 0 squared. Thank you. Plus 108 equals 0. Okay, so add over the 144. Subtract over the 108. Boom. Boom. Okay, so we get, what does this factor to? X minus 2 squared. Then plus y minus 0 squared equals 144 minus 108 is 36. Thank you. Okay, right? If this were now, so if this were a circle, right, we divide the numbers, the matching numbers right here, but we're doing an ellipse, so I just divide by this 36 on the right side, okay? Divide by 36, divide by 36 divided by 36. So my final vertex, or my final standard form for this is x minus 2 squared over 1 plus y minus 0 squared over 36 equals 1. Okay. Not too bad, not too bad. So let's point the camera back at the TV. Okay. So I rewrote this equation as x minus 2 squared over 1 plus y minus 0 squared over 36 equals 1. Okay, so what's my center here? What's my center?
2, 0.
Nice. So let's plot my center. Okay. Let's do, I'll just keep this going. Let's do, okay. How high up? I'm going to plot my vertical axis. How high up do I go above my center for y? 6, right? So I'll write that out. Square root of 36 equals 6. So we go 6 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down. Okay. And then how far left and right do I go for x? Square root of 1 equals 1, so I go 1, 1. Okay. Connect, right? So it's like a little oval kind of like shape. Looks like Stewie Griffin. Okay. All right. Ask your parents for permission before watching Family Guy. Okay. So my major axis is what? The vertical or the horizontal? Vertical, yeah. Not always. That's not always the case, just in this particular problem. Minor axis is the horizontal, okay? So let's write down my vertices. My vertices are going to be the pink points or the green points here? Pink, okay, good. All right, so 6 above my center. What's that? 2, 6. So the vertices are 2, 6. And what's the other covertice? Is that 2, negative 6? Covertices are 1, 0, 3, 0. My answer is my center, my vertices, my covertices, right? That's all the directions asked for. Yeah. Sweet, good stuff. Are you feeling okay about this? Okay, cool. I'll just keep doing problems, right? Look at tougher. So these are all the same. They're just already they're already in standard form for you, or they're mostly in standard form. To get this one in standard form, we'd have to do what? Okay, cool. Awesome. Let's just keep going. All right, chill day, chill day. All right, number 3. Number 3, right? This is good. Completing the square practice. Okay, that's number 3. Number 3, right? So I'm going to copy that down, group your x's together, group your y's together. Good stuff, good stuff. Okay, how do I complete the square for 16x squared? See, x minus 4? No. Trick question. If there's just an x squared and not an x, I do what? You got this. Yeah, you said it, right? X minus 0? Yeah, it becomes 16x minus 0. You can just write it like that. If there's no x, you have to get rid of. Okay. Over here, I'm going to need a little more space. Factor out of 196, so we get plus 196 times y squared. What's 588 divided by 196? 3, thank you, minus 3y. Okay, so I'm good here. What do I divide by 2 in the square here? Yeah, that gives me 9/4 in here. All right, 9/4 times 196. This is fun. So I got to do a minus 441 out here. Okay. So then add over your 441. Add over 441. Add over your 343. Man, it's a big number. Boom, boom. 784, you said? All right. So this is 16 times x minus 0 squared plus 196. What does this factor to? What's the cheat code?
Y minus 3.
Good, yeah, cheat code, y minus 3 halves squared. And then equals 784, you said? Thank you, okay. Right, this is an ellipse, right? My two coefficients here are different, so what's my last step here? Divide by 784. Boom. Divide by 784. Divide by 784. Okay. What's 16 divided by 784? Yeah. So we get x minus 0 squared over 49. Did anyone have trouble with that in their calculator? Do we know how to do? So I did 16 divided by 784. I hit enter. That gave me 0.02. I don't want to write a 0.02 down here. What's up?
Did you get 441?
I added a 9/4 here. To offset the 9/4 that I just added, I have to subtract outside the parentheses by 9/4 times 196. Okay, so we're good. I entered math, answer fraction, gives you 1 over 49. You guys know how to do that? Okay, cool. So that's what? 196 divided by, we got 1/4, so plus y minus 3 halves squared over 4. And that equals 1. That equals 1, okay? There you go, so that's our standard form. So my guy in standard form here, x minus 0 squared over 49. Plus y minus 3 halves squared over 4 equals 1. There you go. So what's my center? 0, 3 halves. So that's about 1.5. Right there's my center. Okay, so that's part of my answer. I go how far up?
2.
I go, yeah, square root of 4 is 2, so I go 2 up. 1, 2. 2 down, 1, 2. How far to the left and right do I go?
7.
7. Square root of 49 equals 7. So I go 7 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Do not have fine motor skills. Sorry, my apologies. Okay. So let's draw my axes on here. Right. So which points are my vertices now? The green ones or the pink ones? Are the green or the pink my vertices in this problem? Green, right? Why is that?
It's longer.
Longer, yeah, thank you. Good job. Okay, so my vertices, let's write down my vertices. Okay. What are those going to be? Anyone having trouble writing down what these points are? Okay, so -7, 3/2. And what is that? +7, 3/2.
So the left or the sum x minus 0, that's not one that's going to be over.
No, it's whatever one. So it's whichever one has a bigger number underneath it. That will be the major axis. So those endpoints will be the vertices. Yeah. If there's a bigger number underneath x, it's going to be like a sideways ellipse. So your major axis will be in the horizontal direction. Your vertices will be along x. If it's a bigger number under y, it'll be a vertical ellipse. Okay. My co-vertices, what are my co-vertices? So that's 2, that's 0, comma what? What's 3? I went up 2, right? What's 3/2 plus 2 in your calculator? 3.5, yeah, or 7/2. So 0, comma 7/2. 3/2 minus 2 in your calculator. Use your calculator. -1/2. 0, comma -1/2. Questions, comments, concerns? That's my answer. You guys feel okay about this?
We have to circle like all that.
Yeah, tell me the center, the vertices, and the co-vertices. Whatever this problem asks for. All right, you guys want to skip to 6? It might be like the hardest one. You guys okay if I skip to 6? Let's skip to 6. Let's do a difficult one. I'm assuming this is the most difficult one. Okay. So if you're feeling good about this, just go ahead. You can start your homework. Otherwise, I'm going to keep doing these for practice so we can get some reps. Got to get some reps in, right? You go to the gym. It's not always fun, right? Sometimes you just have to do the same thing over again to get better. All right? All right? Right? Sometimes you go to the gym. You don't want to hit leg day, right? But you got to do leg day, okay? All right, so I'm going to write this equation down, right? I'm going to group my x's together. Group your y's together. You got your -77 over here, right? Equals 0, okay? Okay, complete the square, okay? So I want this to be a 1, so I'm going to factor out a 7. So I'll have 7 times x squared plus 4x. All right. What do I put there? What do I put here? We confused your board. What do I put here? 4. Yeah. Right, I take the number right next to x, I divide it by 2, and I square it. Got it? Okay, so I'm going to do a +4 right here. Okay, I put a +4 right here. What do I put here then? -28, yep. And then what do I change? If it's just a y squared, what do I just rewrite that as? Y minus 0 squared. Okay, good. Okay, let's add over my 28. Let's add over my 77. So I get 7 times, what does this guy factor to? You guys are getting so good at completing the square. See what happens when you do it over and over and over again, you just get really good at it. What's up? How'd I get 28? Yes. So I put a plus 4 right here. You see where that came from? Okay. I put a plus 4 in here, but everything in my parentheses gets multiplied by 7 with that 7 on top. So to offset this plus 4 times 7, which is 28, I got to do a minus 28 outside the parentheses. Does that make sense?
So you just do whatever the opposite of that is?
Yeah.
If it was positive.
Then I would have done minus 28 outside the parentheses, which I did.
How did you get the
Plus 4, right? I'm always interested in that number next to x or next to y. I divide it by 2 and I square it.
Okay.
What's 4 divided by? So 4 divided by 2.
Is 2 and then 2.
Yeah. Gives me 2 squared, which is 4. So if you're really good at completing the square, this is going to be a snooze. If you're not, this is going to be terrible. Okay, so don't resist. Don't resist it. Just accept it. Just accept it. Okay. What's 28 plus 77? 105. Yeesh. 5. Last step here, because I'm doing an ellipse and not a circle, I do what? Divide by 105. Okay, divide by 105. Okay, so I get a calculator. I need my calculator. So I get, what's 7 divided by 105? 1 over 15. So I get x plus 2 squared over 15. I get, what's 3 divided by 105? I get plus y minus 0 squared over 35 equals 1. So there's my standard form, right? That's the hardest part of the problem. I'm going to write these down real quick. All right, so my vertex form for this one, or my standard form, I should say. It's x plus 2. Let me reorient the camera. So what's my center? Negative 2, 0. Okay. So let's plot my center. How far up do I go? How far up and down? You guys know what to do. What's the number that's underneath y? Square root of 35. Square root of 35, that's about equal to 6. Okay. So I'm going to go about 6 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go about 6 down. Okay. How far left and right do I go? How far left and right do I go? Square root of 15, which is about 4. So are my pink points or my green points my vertices? Are my pink points or my green points my vertices? Pink, yeah. So my pink are negative, it's going to be negative 2, comma, and then 0 plus root 35, negative 2, comma, 0 minus root 35. Okay. Co-vertices. What's that?
Will you always plot the y, will you always plot the square root of y first before the square root of
That it doesn't matter the order.
Okay.
Negative 2 minus root 15, comma 0. Negative 2 plus root 15, comma 0.
Well, I mean, would y always be
Do the
up
worksheet
and-
for tomorrow.
Would y always be up and down and
Yeah.
x
Yeah.
would be up and
Yeah.
up? Okay.
Good stuff. Okay, good vid. Good vid.